أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله أما بعد فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى في كتاب القرآن المجيد في سورة آل عمران أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم كل نفس ذائقة الموت. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Tonight's topic is about death and how we, as humans and the human species, are constantly faced with death. Death is a universal concept understood by both Muslims and non-Muslims, Jews and Christians, atheists and theists, Sunni, Shia. I'm sure every single one of us in our room, if not most, have experienced somebody in their lives pass away. Our mothers, our fathers, sometimes even our own children pass away before us. There's no sequence. There's no like you stand in the line and you can get a number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You go to the Department of Public Safety to get a license. You get number 1 through 10. And okay, number 1 dies first and then number 2 dies first. No. Number 7 dies and then number 10 dies and then 1 dies. We don't know. Allah knows best. The surah in the Quran that I mentioned at the beginning of this lecture is from chapter 3, verse number 185. Surah Al Imran, verse number 185. It says, كُلُّ نَفْسٍ ذَائِقَةُ الْمَوْتِ. Before I get into the translation, most of you probably know what it means. I've heard from people who say that when we die, we don't feel anything. You just go. Close your eyes and no, sleep. Wrong. Wrong answer. What do I mean by that? Because the Quran is beautiful. It states everything. How many senses do we have? 5? Seeing, hearing, smelling, touching, and taste. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Every soul shall taste death. كُلُّ نَفْسٍ ذَائِقَةُ الْمَوْتِ. Thank you, brother. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. It's attracted to me, the microphone. Thank you. Shukran. Thank you. All right. So So every soul shall taste death. So the word dha'iqa is used in here. It's a sensory perception. Taste. So you will indeed feel something. This is how beautiful the Quran is. You plunge into the depths of the Quran and you figure out, like, subhanAllah, Allah is talking to us. When you're reading salat, you're praying to God. And when you're reading the Quran, God is speaking to you. The Quran, it touches the qalb. It touches the heart. Throughout the entire Muslim world, we recite chapter number 2, verse 156. I'm testing you here. Chapter 2, verse 156. Surah Baqarah, verse 156. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alladhina idha asabathum musiba qalu inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'oon. How many people have said this? Everyone, right? Translation. And there are those, when a calamity befalls on them, they say, verily we are from Allah, and verily to Him we shall return. Inna. Verily, most surely, every soul shall taste death. Everyone shall return. Allah is saying, I'm guaranteeing you, you will come back to me. I created you, and you are coming back. This is not a very easy topic to talk about, because it's a very scary topic to talk about. I say this with a heavy heart, because the speaker before you has to die too, and all these other great personalities in the world. So I have to. This is advice to myself first and foremost. So you say, "Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'oon." Think about this. Right now, you're saying it for someone. In the future, someone's going to say it for you. Did you hear that? I'm going to repeat it one more time. Someone says that when you die, they read Fatiha for you. You recite Fatiha. How many people have read Fatiha? Raise your hand. For some dead soul. Right? You're reciting it now for someone. Someone else is going to recite it for you. And that's scary, because the ghaib, the unseen, scary. I just, you start thinking about that, and the imams used to get the color went away from their face to think about this kind of stuff. Allah. Death is so common for us as Muslims, that Muslims are being murdered around the world and we don't even blink. In Iraq, an IED bomb explodes, killing 150 men, women, and children. Mostly women and children. Innocents. In Afghanistan, a crazy soldier kills 16 men, women, and children. I don't care if they're Taliban. I'm going to tell you right now. This is what they want us. They want us to divide. I don't care if they're Taliban. I don't care if they're Al-Qaeda. Whatever their name is. They are still shown to be Muslims. No, these non-Muslims don't understand what Sunni and Shia is. All they know is turban and beard. Okay? They don't know anything else. And we're just getting used to it, desensitized. And I've heard Shia say, who cares? They're just a bunch of, Al-Qaeda, Taliban folks. If they are going to reap their deeds in the qabr, Allah is going to judge them. Guaranteed. And the punishment you and I can give is nothing compared to the adhab of the qabr, and on the day of hasra, regret. So let's talk about what's incapable of dying. Incapable of death. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Al-awwal, al-akhir. One of the beautiful names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The first and the last. The one who creates everything. So this leads me to the next verse of the Quran. Chapter 67, verses 1 and 2. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. تبارك الذي بيده الملك وهو على كل شيء قدير الذي خلق الموت والحياة ليبلوكم أيكم أحسن عملا وهو العزيز الغفور. Allah. You recite the Quran, you feel it. Blessed be the one in his hand, in his hand is the kingdom. And he has he has power over all things. And he is the one who created death and life. Very interesting that he mentions death first before creating life, because generally we think life is first and then we die. But subhanAllah, this is hikmah that I don't even understand. I don't even understand this. This is like deep, profound. So he's the one who creates death and the one who creates life, so that he can test you to see who is better in deeds. And he is Azizul Ghafur, Almighty and All-Forgiving. Next verse of the Quran, verse 6. This reminds me when I go through this, I listen, I'm like, subhanAllah, this Quran, just refer to the Quran. Don't keep the Quran on the bookshelf, collecting dust. Because people are dying to come here, to this religion. I swear some people have just picked up the Quran from the beginning, and they said, Alif Lam Mim, Dhalikul Kitab La Rayba, Fi Hudan Lil Muttaqin. They've gone through that verse, they're like, what a book. It starts off saying, there's no doubt in this book? There's no doubt in this book? I think I made it a gradual theme here. Follow and implement the Quran in your life. It really is important. Otherwise, then we're just saying, you know what, Allah, I follow you in some things, but I don't follow you in some other things. I choose religion, cherry pick. I choose some of the things that I like. I agree with some Islam, but not all Islam. Ya Rasulullah. Next surah, Surah Al-Mu'minun. Chapter of the believers, Mu'min, plural, Mu'minun. Verse number 13, 14, and 15. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. ثم جعلناه نطفة في قرار مكين. I'm going to translate after this. It says, then we made him a small seed in a firm resting place, in a safe place. Makin comes from where the root word Makkah. Makkah is known as a place of peace and security. So I place it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about, I placed the seed in the womb of the mother. Next verse. ثم خلقنا النطفة علقة فخلقنا العلقة مضغة فخلقنا المضغة عظاما فكسونا العظام لحما ثم أنشأناه خلقا آخر فتبارك الله أحسن الخالقين. Repeat that one more time. فتبارك الله أحسن أحسن الخالقين فتبارك الله أحسن الخالقين. Wow. What does it say here? It says, then I created this, put the seed into a clot, into an alaqa. Miraculous verse, miracle verse. By the way, goes through the entire embryological process. Embryo. When you gotta imagine, Quran was revealed how long ago? About 1400 years ago. The embryos, they can't be seen by the naked eye. You have to go look at them through microscopes. When did microscopes come? 18th and 19th century? Wow. So that's why when you start reading the Quran, you realize that this book, it's, as they say, it ain't no joke. It's real. All the other stuff is fake. So it says he's made this clot into an alaqa. Subhanallah, the alaqa, they've gone with the modern microscopes, and they found out that, what is alaqa in just normal colloquial Arabic? It means a leech. A blood-sucking leech. You look in the microscope, the alaqa, it looks just like an alaqa, that first and foremost. Secondly, it actually blood sucks because it attaches to the blood supply of the mother. How else does the baby grow? And then that alaqa becomes a mudgha. I think when you speak in colloquial, maybe chewing gum for gum. You go into the microscope, it looks like a chewed piece of gum. Your Lord knows. Your Lord knows already. That's what we need to wake up to. We know, Allah, I acknowledge that you are the one who knows everything, and you are you are all powerful and all wise and all knowing. He's just telling you, and then he goes on to say, subhanallah, this is one of my favorite parts of the verse. It just sounds so beautiful, just like he's massaging you when he's talking. And then he says, we've taken that mudgha, and then from the mudgha it becomes idama, bone. And then from the bone, it becomes, actually the bone then gets covered, فَكَسَوْنَا الْعِظَامَ لَحْمًا. It gets covered, it gets clothed. SubhanAllah, just talking to you. Clothed with flesh, with skin. Skin. And then he said, then it becomes another creation. ثُمَّ أَنْشَأْنَاهُ خَلْقًا آخَرَ. Then it becomes another creation. Why is he saying that? Because if you look at the embryo at the microscopic level, it looks like an alien, if I could describe it like that. Because it looks very different. It's not a human being-looking type species. It eventually then becomes into a full-blown fetus, and of course, then becomes, the mother gives birth, and it becomes you and I. And then right after that, this is the point of the verse. This is the point of the verse. ثُمَّ إِنَّكُمْ بَعْدَ ذَلِكَ لَمَيِّتُونَ. ثُمَّ إِنَّكُمْ بَعْدَ ذَلِكَ لَمَيِّتُونَ. And then, you're dead. And then after that, you die. Wow. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala went through this miraculous explanation of how the embryo goes through its development. And then he doesn't talk about, I'm born, and then I go and I, have fun with my daddy, and he doesn't go through those. I'm going to go play recess, play games, Xbox. Those things don't come in the chapter. They don't come in the verse. He says, then you die. This reminds me of a specific hadith that's narrated amongst the Sunni and the Shia. It is narrated in the book of Bukhari. In the book of Sahih Bukhari amongst our Sunni. It states this in the chapter of Riqaq. It says that the Prophet says that I have been sent and the hour are as these two fingers. This is from the Sunni books. Let me check the Shia, see what they have to say about it. So then I go to Amali al-Mufid by Shaykh al-Mufid. May Allah be pleased with him. Beautiful. I heard Abi Abdullah, 6th Imam, alayhi salam, say, once the Prophet climbed on the pulpit, and the color of his cheek changed. Remember I talked about the color? The Prophet's cheek changed. He's talking about something very important here. What is he talking about? And he approached the people saying, O gathering of Muslims, I have been sent, and the hour of the day of judgment are as close in time as these two. Then he put these two fingers together. He says, Ya ma'ashar al-Muslimin, innama bu'ithtu ana wa sa'a kahatain, qala thumma dam sabahatain. Ana wa sa'a. This is the Prophet's fingers. Imagine this is the Prophet's fingers. He's saying, this is me and the hour. Sa'a. The hour. Not 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock hour. The sa'a, the time of the day of judgment, when everything will be collected and it'll be already gathered, and then the judgment will fall on us. Then the decisions will be made, and the punishments and the verdicts rendered. And then either you get Jannah for the people of the right hand, Ashabul Yameen, and then the Ashabul Shimal, the left hand, then you get the Jahannam. We don't know when we're going to die, do we? We don't know when we're going to die. This is actually a mercy of Allah that we don't know when we're going to die. Imagine if you knew. Somebody actually comes and tells you, you're going to die tomorrow. How would you feel? How would you feel saying you're going to die tomorrow? Usually we don't know these things. This is hypothetical. In the medical field, when somebody's diagnosed with cancer, they don't go tell that person, you're going to die. They go tell the family, because it's hard to take the news that you're going to die in 6 months. It's called bedside manner. Said you're going to die in 6 months. I'm sorry. How do you break it to them? I'm sorry, Mr. Mustafa, Mr. Muhammad, Mr. Hassan, Mrs. Fatima, Mrs. Zainab. But you've unfortunately been diagnosed with cancer. And now you're going to die in approximately 3 to 6 months. It's not easy to give that news to somebody. It's not easy. So you go tell the family, because the family will try to break it down to the person. They're going to cry. Because it's not easy dealing with the thought that somebody's going to die. That's one of the reasons that when I was in Jahiliyyah 7 years back, I said, you know what? SubhanAllah. I say I was in Jahiliyyah, I mean I knew the Suluddin and Furuddin, basic stuff like that, but I didn't take my religion seriously. I said, wow, we're getting closer and closer to death, and we're in ghafla. Just heedless. What if we knew we were going to die? Let me give you an example. This person right here, sitting on this chair. Let's say this person's one. I love the fact that there's a chair. So let's say there's a person sitting in this chair. And this very mean soldier comes up to him, says, I'm going to kill you right now. Some bad soldier that's got a qalb al-aswad, black heart. So I don't like you, for whatever reason you are, I'm going to kill you. I give you one last request. Whatever you want to do. If you want to do your final prayers, go do it right now. How do you think that final prayer is going to be? Imagine that final prayer. Do you think it's going to be like gymnastics? Everybody's like doing gymnastics. I bet you that's going to be the longest salah of his life. I guarantee you. This is real. Because I know I would. I would make sure I extend that thing before that bullet hits my head. But I would make sure that connection with Allah, that khushu', that's very hard to attain, by the way. That's why when you recite Surah Al-Mu'minun, قَدْ أَفْلَحَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ الَّذِينَ هُمْ فِي صَلَاتِهِمْ خَاشِعُونَ. I said, okay, I'm not a mu'min. First thing, he said, indeed surely are the believers, are those who have khushu', humility and submissiveness in their salah. I said, okay, I'm out of the game. This world is the only chance we have for salvation. And the following verse illustrates this perfectly. Surah Mu'minun again, verses 99 and 100. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hatta idha jaa ahadahumul maut qala rabbi irji'oon. I'm going to read this part. It says, until when death overtakes them, then they're going to say, oh my Lord, send me back. What does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say next? He says, لَعَلِّي أَعْمَالُ صَالِحًا فِيمَا تَرَكْتُ. لَعَلِّي أَعْمَالُ صَالِحًا فِيمَا تَرَكْتُ. So that I can do good deeds in that world that I left. This is what the person's going to tell. Oh Lord, send me back so that I can do good deeds in that world that I left. Allah's going to say, Kalla. No. إِنَّهَا كَلِمَةٌ هُوَ قَائِلُهَا. It is just mere words that he utters. It's just a joke. They don't mean that. You're going to say, Rabbi irji'oon ya Allah. Rabbi irji'oon ya Allah. Let me go back so I can wear hijab. I'm sorry, I know I should have worn it. I'll go back and do it. Allah says, you're lying. The chances are done. Give me a chance so I can respect my parents. Allah's going to say, no, kalla, done. Your lying is just on your tongues. I won't listen to music anymore. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to say, kalla, no. This is very scary, brothers and sisters. Are we ready? Are we ready for death? He's going to say no. This right here, this could be the whole speech. Just this. Rabbi irji'oon ya Allah, Rabbi irji'oon ya Allah. I can say that for the whole speech and you can understand how deep this is. Send me back, ya Allah. Please send me back. I will wear hijab. I will uphold the modesty of Sayyidah Zainab and Bibi Fatima Zahra, salam alayha, sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And since we are all visual learners, we're all visual. We like to, instead of reading, unfortunately, we like to watch videos. I have a video for you to watch. It's called Rabbi irji'oon. In English, go to YouTube, type in, oh Lord, send me back. Off this verse. Oh Lord, send me back. It gives you an idea, a good visual idea as to what happens when you die. Poor little Hassan, Mr. Hassan is sitting there jamming music. You gotta pay attention, brothers. Poor little Hassan is just listening and jamming to music on the couch. I don't want to spoil it all for you, but I just want to get you a little bit interested. He's listening to music on the couch, Angel of death comes, gone. Gone. As they say, adios amigos. This is true. Adios. As they say, Khuda Hafiz in Farsi. Ma salam. And the father, this really hits my heart. This really hits my heart. Because then the father comes in, and he says, wake up for salat. Wake up for salat. And then he's holding his hand, he's pushing him. Wake up. And then you realize he's dead. He's like, Hassan! And he starts crying. Imagine if your son dies. How would you feel? Most people are trained to think that, okay, I'm going to die before my children. Imagine if your son or daughter dies before you. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. I have some good news though. I have a little glimmer in a nice piece of beautiful light in this discussion. How can we increase our life? How can we increase our life? Let me give you a hadith. A hadith that's graded Muwathaq. Located in Al-Kafi, one of our major Shia books. One of our top 4. It says, I heard Abi Abdullah say, my father would say, actually I'm going to read in Arabic first. يقول نعوذ بالله, this is Abi Abdullah talking. يقول نعوذ بالله من ذنوب التي تعجل فنا وتقرب الأجال وتخلي الديار وهي قطعية الرحم وعقوق وترك البر. Translation. Sixth Imam says, my father would say, we seek protection in Allah. We seek protection in Allah from the sins which hastens one's extinction, his destruction, fana, and brings death near, ajal, tuqarribu ajal, and deserts the homes, the diyar, and and the ones who severing and being undutiful to the relatives. Severing and undutiful to the relatives, Mr. Zishan. My dear brothers and sisters, I have to talk to myself because this is like, we're nothing special. We just know a few Quran and a few Hadith, okay? Nothing special. We have a mirror in front of us. We have a bigger mirror because the shaitan attacks us. And it's, you know, you have to avoid like riyah and all these things. It's not easy. And that's all of us. We have to all avoid like showing off and things like that. I'm going to have to mention this. Unfortunately, I feel like I have to mention it. I hope nobody's in this position. But suicide. Some people think their life is going so bad. Their brothers, their mothers and fathers are so strict on them, they feel like the only way to leave this world is to get rid of their life. Let me give you a verse from the Quran that's always very soothing to me. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها. No soul is given a burden that which it cannot handle. That means every single problem you're going through, you can handle it. Everything. So you should never get it to that other reason. Let's say you even think about it. Let's see what the Imams say. From Abi Abdullah Imam Ja'far Sadiq alayhi salam. He says, Aba Abdullah yaqul min qatala nafsahu muta'ammidan fahuwa fi nari jahannam khalida. Allahu Akbar. Very, very simple. Whoever kills himself intentionally, he is in the fire of Jahannam forever, eternally. Khalidan. And if anyone has ever thought about this and is thinking about it now, you come and talk to me immediately after this lecture. And inshallah, there's nobody like that. But if you are, we need to open it up. And brothers and parents, I know you'd like to think your kids are angels and they'll never do anything like that. You just never know. Never know. That's why we need to always keep a dialogue and a discussion open. Luqman talked to his son very beautifully. Ya bunay. Always ya bunay. Oh my son, oh my daughter. In the West, how do they deal with death? They mask and hide death. What do I mean by that? They hide death. When someone dies, immediately the process starts to kick in. It's called rigor mortis, the stiffening of the body. Body becomes very hard when it dies. No life. You can tell it's completely different when the soul is in the body and when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes the soul away. It becomes very hard, very pale, because the blood stops flowing. Blood stops flowing. What they do in the non-Muslim funerals, they call them wakes and memorials. They keep these people out of the. They're supposed to be in the ground immediately, as soon as possible. But they keep them out of the ground, or keep them from going into the ground for a while. Maybe a week, sometimes 2 weeks. And they put this thing in them called formaldehyde, embalming fluid. Just so they can stop the normal decomposition process of a dead body. Because it starts to decompose, starts to smell, starts to wither away. And one speaker whom I looked up to very much, he was one of the reasons he changed my life. You know what he actually said? You know what happens when you go on the ground? You become McDonald's for the animals and the insects. Fast food. I'm going to use his words because they love to eat that skin. They love to eat those. Eat around the bone, the flesh. So they put this to hide. What else do? They put makeup. It's like, I swear, it's like the people they look better when they're dead than when they're alive. Yeah, we need to put some Gucci's on him and Armani Exchange. Put the nice little hat for the women. They never work a job in their life and they're semi-wearing a job. It's like an insult. They're wearing makeup. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is psychological, by the way. This is all psychology. Because they want to have that memory, like, oh, I want to see that person like I saw him when they were alive. No. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to see that He wants us to see that paleness. He wants us to see that stiffness. Because Allah's telling us He's giving us a little sign. He says, one day you are going to be pale and stiff one day. You won't have the blood flowing. The qalb won't be reverberating. Do-dum, 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 do-dum. Flatline. So they put makeup on the sisters. They put makeup on the men too, I guess. Isn't that pretty not masculine thing to do? Okay, now let's go to another section. Writing a will. Writing a will. chapter number 2, verse number 180. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. كتب عليكم إذا حضر أحدكم الموت إن ترك خيرا وصية للوالدين والأقربين بالمعروف حقا على المتقين. Prescribed for you when death approaches you is that he leaves behind wealth and wills it and bequests it, wasiyah, for the parents, lilwalidain, and to the near relatives, wal aqrabin, according to usage, bil ma'ruf. And this is haqqan ala al-muttaqin. This is a right, a duty for the muttaqin, for the ones who are pious, the ones who are God-fearing. I'm going to tell you from my own experience about writing a will. I'm 31 years old right now. I wrote my first will in 2009, before I went for Hajj. Before you go for Hajj, I'll tell you, it's actually a calming feeling to write your will, because you start acknowledging your own mortality. Like, I can die, and and also you're taking care of those around you. There's haqqullah and haqqul nas. There's the rights of Allah, and there's the rights of the people. The people have rights. Some people are just like Fir'aun and all the other pharaohs that live. They just want to hoard all the wealth and then get buried with their wealth. Nobody uses the wealth, brothers and sisters, if it's all buried. And that is just miserliness. So I did my first will before I went to Hajj in 2009. And by the way, Hajj is a wonderful experience. One scholar told me, do it while you're young. You will appreciate it. He was right. He was very right. Do it while you're young. You don't want to wait. You know what? You know what's so shirk about this? They say, I'll do it. I'll get religious when I get married. Who says you're going to get married? Who says you're going to live to get married? Do you know when you're going to die? I sure as hell don't. I'll wait. What is this? I'll wait till I get married and settled in and kids. And then, inshallah, I'll go for Hajj. Like Hajj is waiting for you. And the Malik al-Maut, he's just saying, sure, I'll wait for you to go to Hajj and I'll take your life. He doesn't care. Allah's going to send him and he's just going to do it. Do your Hajj, brothers and sisters. And I know, mashallah, we have good members of this community. Mashallah, Allah has blessed them with wealth. At least one. Hajjatul Islam, the first Hajj. So like I said, writing a will is actually very soothing. Young ones here, advice. I know you don't have a job maybe yet, and you don't have a house, and you don't have a car necessarily. But you could say, I have this Xbox. I want to will it over to someone. If you're training yourself, if something happens to me, parents, teach your kids. If you start teaching them about death early, then they'll realize that there's a God that they're coming to. Inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allowed me to have that strength to say so-and-so, just write it down, then cute little baby 4 words. Daddy, I want you to take my Xbox, or whatever. And I wanted to go to make sure that they say, make sure you give it to your little brothers, because kids don't like to share. So this also teaches sharing. It's a training tool. Kids are like, no, this is my toy. You've done that before, right? Get your grubby little hands off my PlayStation. Right? Share. Because PlayStation ain't going with you anywhere. It ain't going into you in the grave, that's for sure. And now I want to go over the wasiyah of the Prophet to Imam Ali alayhi salam. The best of wills. This is when the Prophet he's giving a will to the first Imam, to Imam Ali alayhi salam. But when it's a difference between when we write a will and when a Prophet of Allah writes a will. And especially the one who's Khatim al-Nabiyyin. The seal of the prophets. The legacy. This is the legacy of Islam. Starting from Adam, and then it goes through Idris, and it goes to Nuh, and it goes to Yaqub, and then Shu'aib, and of course it's not in order, but I'll just give you Isa alayhi salam, Nuh alayhi salam, Musa alayhi salam, Harun alayhi salam, Isa alayhi salam, and then it ends with the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Sallu ala Muhammad wa alihi. So I'm building this up, brothers, because this is the best prophet, the best man to ever walk on this earth. This is what he's giving to the Imam. This is what he says. He says, in the will of the prophets, the Prophet told Ali, he said, "Oh Ali, I advise you about characteristics about yourself, that you must preserve them from me." Then he, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, said, "Oh Allah, help him." Number one, first, speak the truth. And do not leave a lie from you. Do not ever let a lie leave from you, ever. How many of us have lied to our parents? You don't have to raise your hands. You're not supposed to, you're supposed to not give out your flaws. You're just supposed to be a reminder. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, through the Imams and through the Hadith, that you don't have to acknowledge your flaws in front of people. You just acknowledge them yourself, introspection, and then you change it. Make yourself better. I don't need to know. Nobody needs to know. This is not Catholic confession. We're not Catholics who go and confess to the Father and the Father's molesting children. You speak to Allah. Second, al-wara, piety, and do not dare to do disloyalty ever. Do not be disloyal. Be trustworthy. The Prophet during Jahiliyyah was called Sadiq and Amin. From Jahiliyyah time, even the Jahils knew that this man was truthful and trustworthy. Number three, fear Allah and His mentioning as if you see Him. If you saw Allah, you would be scared. Fear Him as you see Him. And again, I don't even know how to comprehend these. These are hard for me to understand and try to implement. Fear Allah as you see Him. That's what I'm saying. Tadabbur on the Quran. Tadabbur on the Hadith. Fourth, weep a lot from the fear of Allah. And for every tear, 1,000 houses will be built for you in Jannah. Every tear. Every tear, that's mercy. Brother, mashallah, read the very good, he read the Surah Al-An'am, chapter of the cattle, chapter number 6. You recited, كَتَبَ عَلَى نَفْسِهِ رَحْمَةً. Chapter number 6, verse number 12. You gotta know the Quran. Go surgical on the Quran. I'm not saying cut open the Quran, by the way. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying cut the Quran. Go surgical on the Quran. The Quran, just slice it and dice it, from a mental perspective. Dissect this book. Why do you dissect a frog? Because you need to learn the insights of it. Now we're talking about a metaphorical dissection here. Please don't start cutting up. Make sure they keep the knives away from the kids. All right? Fifth, give your fortune and your blood for your religion. Give your fortune and your blood, mal and dima, for your religion. And I'm sure, alhamdulillah, we should have very generous people in this place. In all the masajid, inshallah. And if you haven't been very generous, maybe you've given some, give more. Because know that you are going to get reward. If you have faith and yaqeen in Allah, Allah is going to give you reward. Do it for Allah. Don't tell anybody. Because the stuff that's given out in secret is much better than the one that's given out in public. So you can save yourself from riyah. Sixth, take a hold of my sunnah in salah, my fasting, my charity. As for the salah, it is 50 rak'ah. 17 rak'ahs in wajib salat, right? He's also mentioning nafilah. Not the obligatory only, the supererogatory. As for fasting, it is 3 days in a month. The first Thursday of the month, the middle Wednesday of the month, and the last Thursday of the month. As for charity, it is your effort. Until you say, I have given excessively. But it is not excessive. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't say, you just finally get your, let's say brother starts working. You're like, I love Allah, I got my $200 paycheck. You don't just give your $200 paycheck because if that's how you're going to live. Give. This is what happens if you're living off of that $200. You're supporting your wife. Maybe $1,000, $2,000. You don't give all of the money, otherwise who's going to feed the wife and the kids? Does that make sense? We give, but don't give excessive. And number 7, upon you is the night prayer, Salatul Layl. And upon you is the noon prayer. And upon you is the noon prayer. And upon you is the noon prayer. Zawad, Zawad, Zawad. 3 times. Over my head. It's like, that's how deep this stuff is. And upon you is a recitation, tilawah, of the Quran in every situation. It says, بِتِلَاوَةِ الْقُرْآنِ عَلَى كُلِّ حَالٍ. Recite the Quran in every, kulli hal, every situation. The point is being reinforced. He's not going to forget to let you know that you've got to do some Quran. And upon you is the raising of your hands in salah and turning them. Qunut. This is the sunnah. The qunut that we do in our salah. And upon you is the siwak, miswak. Yes, it's a sunnah of the Shia. The Wahhabis aren't the ones that you always say, Wahhabis, Wahhabis, Wahhabis. No, it is a sunnah. This is in a Shia books, brothers and sisters. I've heard from people, that's why I have to mention it. It's not just the Sunnis that are supposed to be doing miswak. This is what he says. And upon you is the miswak, the sawak, with every wudu. Do a wudu, miswak. And by the way, it actually works. And if anybody's a dentist or a hygienist over here, they know, if they've actually done some studying on this, that the miswak works wonders. And upon you are the beautiful manners, the akhlaq, and possess them, and avoid bad manners. And if you do not do this, now he's talking to Imam Ali, he said, and if you do not do this, then do not blame anyone except yourself. If you don't do these, don't blame anyone except yourself. And we move on to a very important subject. If we're talking about death, let's talk about the ultimate death. And that's martyrdom. Dying in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have to be intellectually, physically, mentally, and spiritually prepared for the coming of the 12th Imam. Prophet told Imam Ali alayhi salam, give your wealth and your blood for your religion. Did he fulfill that? Yes, he did. The coward, Abdul Rahman ibn Muljim, when no one could actually kill him in a battle, has to kill him in salah. What was the first battle? Battle of Badr, 2nd year of Hijrah. When did Imam Ali alayhi salam die? 40th. 38 years, nobody could kill him with the sword. That's bravery. Nobody could touch him. And a coward goes into Masjid al-Kufa. Many of you are from Iraq. You might have gone to that masjid. And they struck him, or he struck him. La'nat of Allah on him. He was killed in Salah. I said, chapter 23, Surah Al-Mu'minun, about the people, or indeed the believers are successful if they have khushu in Salah. Not only did he have khushu in Salah, he died in Salah while being in the state of khushu. Allahu Akbar. And when we go to Ziyarat al-Baqiyah, because I've been there, 2009, Hajj, there's these little bid'ah people. Bid'ah, 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 Hajji, Hajji, Haraka, Hajji, Haraka, Hajji. I was tired of being called Hajji. I thought Hajji was supposed to be a nice title. I got tired of being called Hajji. Haraka, Hajji, move, move, Haraka, Hajji. Just like evil little shaitans hanging out there. That's all they do. Haraka, Hajji. I'm telling you, you're going to get sick of it. So I had to talk to a few of them about that. So they won't let us do salam. I was over there, and they kept on messing with my Shia brothers and sisters. Say, la, kitab, blah, 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 hajji, put down. Put your books down, because the ziyarat books, right? Ziyarat where we do salam. Salam alaikum wa rahmatullah. And various, titles that go with a prophet or an imam. It's no joke. I told him straight up. I said, do you enjoy bothering the mu'mineen? I said, you know what it said in chapter 33, verse 58? وَالَّذِينَ يُؤْذُونَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ وَالْمُؤْمِنَاتِ بِغَيْرِ مَا اكْتَسَبُوا فَقَدِ احْتَمَلُوا بُهْتَانًا وَإِثْمًا مُبِينًا. Give the Quran, because these are Sunni brothers and sisters, they probably memorize it. Give it to them. I'm telling you, the Quran, you can talk to anybody. I said, he said, la, modes, may, dead. Dead? Chapter number 3, verse 169. وَلَا تَحْسَبَنَّ الَّذِينَ قُتِلُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ أَمْوَاتًا بَلْ أَحْيَاءٌ عِنْدَ رَبِّهِمْ يُرْزَقُونَ. And do not say that those who die in the way of Allah are dead. Nay, they are alive, ahya, and they're receiving rizq, sustenance from their Lord. How about that, buddy? Maybe your prophet died not on the path of Allah. That's what they probably believe. I believe my prophet died on the path of Allah. And if you say that, you're a kafir. It's kufr to believe that your prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And I love my brothers and sisters, but there's a group of people, fanatics, who have hijacked their religion. They're really good people. They just need to. We need to give them the burhan, the dalil. It's there. But then there's these people who are put into these positions to just give problems to people. Like I said, maybe you believe your prophet died not on the path of Allah, not on the sabil of Allah. I believe my prophet did. And on top of that, if he's dead according to you, why do you say salam to him into your tashahhud? This is what our Sunni brothers and sisters say. التحيات لله وصلوات وطيبات السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. If he's dead, why are you saying salam to him? He's dead, right? Astaghfirullah. Na'udhu billah. You're saying it in your salat. Last time I checked, I only salam to people who are alive. I meet people here. Assalamu alaikum, brother. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum, sister. Assalamu alaikum, brother. I have never given a dead person a salam before. Yes, there are people who die, and they don't die on the path of Allah. You don't give salam to those people who don't die on the path of Allah. I conclude by saying that this is a very, pay attention here. I conclude by saying, in the past 1 hour, your heart has beat 4,800 times, and you have breathed in and out approximately 1,200 times. Time is running out, brothers and sisters. Wake up and realize time is limited, and we can start by making changes in our life today, because our lives can end at any moment. Ponder on that, and inshallah, this was the last of so many, of 3 speeches. I am very pleasured and honored to be a part of this. Thank you very much for inviting me here. It's been an honor. May Allah bless you and your families. May Allah allow you to stick to the Quran and the Ahl al-Bayt. Quran and Ahl al-Bayt. Quran and Ahl al-Bayt. And one more for good measure. Quran and Ahl al-Bayt. Because these two will never go astray. Lan tadillu. And if you hold on to them, it will never separate for them. And they'll never separate until they reach the Hawd. It's very simple. The Prophet has already said all the good words. All we have to do is just follow it. Thank you very much, brothers and sisters. It's been an honor. It's been a pleasure. May inshallah, this will be a stepping stone for progress. Ameen. Let's do a dua, inshallah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Ya Allah, allow us to stick to the path of Allah. Ameen. Just repeat, say Ameen after me. Allow us to gain knowledge in the way of Allah. Ameen. Allow us to hold to the Quran. Ameen. Allow us to bring and also bring the Ahl al-Bayt and the Quran together and not keep them separate. Ameen. And allow us to realize that we're going to die, and let us make a change today, inshallah. May Allah bless this community. May Allah forgive us for our sins. Ameen. May Allah forgive the sins of our family members who have left from this world. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Maliki yawmiddin. Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-sirata al-mustaqim. Sirata alladhina an'amta alayhim. غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Thank you very much, brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.